Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into a LEGO Marvel Superheroes review. Today we are looking at and comparing all 5 of the 2022 Marvel Mechs. These are all going to be launching officially, finally, on April the 1st. And I'm so excited because I've had these mechs since December and I haven't been able to do a video on them because they didn't want us covering the faulty ones that had like a stability issue, which we will be able to talk about a bit because they use some of the techniques on the feet. But I now have the updated versions, and the embargo date was like 1 day off of the new Spider-Man ones. From left to right, we have set number 76202, the Wolverine Mech. This is retailing for $9.99 USD or $14.99 Canadian. Then we have set number 76203, the Iron Man Mech armor. And we have set number 76204, the Black Panther Mech armor. And then very lastly here together, we have set number 76219. This is Spider-Man and Green Goblin Mech Battle, retailing for $19.99 USD or $24.99 Canadian. And you can check out the different time codes to skip around to all the different mechs. But for now, and I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be it, this is all of the mechs for 2022. All right, so starting things off here, we have the Wolverine Mech. And I'm going to remove the figure from the front. But this is actually my favorite out of all of them. Not just because like it's finally X-Men content for the first time since 2017, but just because it's such a cool looking mech. And you look at the Wolverine figure and like even like the comic book outfit and how he's kind of like got the shoulder pads as well. You see that in the shape of this. And I think that is really, really awesome. I think overall, just like even some of the points and the leg molding there is really, really great. The color schemes, both these two pieces are both printed. And if I spin it around here, you could see it's actually complete on the back, which is something some of the mechs aren't. And I think that just kind of adds to this as well. It's really, really awesome. And specifically though, you just open this up. If you've never seen the mechs before, you take your figure and you slide them on inside and you are able to close that, even with the claws there. So really cool. This is meant to be more of a suit, and I'm specifying that for a reason as we continue through here, but I really love this. This is great. I don't know if the mech is meant to have this, but it is possible to, of course, remove the different blades there so you can have him like retract his claws and everything. But there's a lot of posability here, and as someone who's had the mech sitting on their desk since December, I could tell you this is so much more stable, and I definitely see that this is such an improvement here. You'll notice here, like, the posability of this, it's very, very strong. I just noticed it's so much more stiff than the other one, and you can even see, so there's different types of ball joints. Specifically here at the bottom, this is sort of what it was like using these little pole pieces, almost, I would call them. At the bottom here, that's what they decided to change up for 2022. If I were to take this here and if I spin this around, you can see how smooth that spins. Now here on the different joints, do you hear that tension there? That's tension because of the pieces that they're choosing to use. Makes it so much more strong, and I definitely see why there would have been an issue. Here's the Wolverine figure, and I think that this is going to be the most sought after mech just because of the fact that he's finally here. He's on his own. It's going to sell incredibly well. However, the figure itself, it's not necessarily the greatest. It doesn't have any leg printing, which is kind of noticeable, I think, as well as like the rest of it. It's fine. It just could have used like dual molded boots or something. Would have been really awesome. I love the printing, however, on the torso and the front there. Looks great. Also, the blue, like the bright blue, we've never really gotten that before, so I really appreciate that as well. Claws, of course, cool to have back here. They're essential to him now. The cowl is also returning. It is technically a different piece number, but I believe it is the exact same mold. And it's cool to see back here since 2014, which is incredible to think about. That's how long ago that was there. And the face, you've got like the goggles there to make the white eyes, and he's got like an angry expression. And spinning it around here on the back, he's got this really cool smiling face, which we've never gotten before for him. And unfortunately, there's no hairpiece included with him, which is a real shame, which funnily enough has only appeared in 4 sets, a studio set for a vampire, as well as the 3 times we've gotten Wolverine. So the last time would have been 2017, and if they brought this back, then they definitely could have brought the hair back, and I definitely think they need to do that for a future set. Hopefully, with a lot of times these mechs, these figures are reused in other sets, so hopefully we get more X-Men sets. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. But Here, you can see the cowl still works with that face. It's just not as cool as if we had the hair. Here's the Iron Man mech, and we actually haven't had one for 2 years now, so I don't particularly mind that this one's back versus Spider-Man getting one every single year. This one's really cool. I love the printed arc reactor chest piece there on the Nexonite shield. That is really awesome. Down below, those are actually stickers, as well as this one here on the hand. I actually think this one is it's definitely one of my favorites of these 5, but I think it's better than the other Iron Man one. I really like what they're going for here. The gold and everything, and you'll see on the suit, it reminds me a lot of the Mark 42, which is one of my favorite suits. Here on the front, I'm not sure why they have like a gold sticker there on a dark tan piece. Kind of strange. But same sort of thing. It had the same issues as the other one. Also, I didn't point this out before, but you'll see at the bottom, it's actually different. You could see how one is actually one stud above the other one. So that actually does change the way that you're posing it. And you'll notice there a little bit with the hips. I don't know if you could see this on camera, but it does change the fact that the legs technically aren't side by side. They're more like this. They're a little bit more separate. Now that's exaggerated, but I think that's really cool. Now, I love this one a lot because of the stud shooter that's hidden underneath the hand. I think that's really cool. It's using the newer stud shooter, and you just push down there, and it'll shoot out the stud that went across the room. Also, on the shoulders, you've got this pearlescent piece, which is really great. And then on this arm, you've got like the energy shield from like Endgame, which looks really cool. And of course, you can open it up and take your Iron Man figure, and you could slide them on inside with the Power Blast pieces and actually close that up. And on the back there, it's actually one of the ones that are complete as well, which looks really great. And the thrusters underneath, very Iron Man-esque. I love this suit. It is really, really cool. I think that this is just such a great looking suit. It's so different than all the ones we've gotten before. Like, all the gold just takes me back to the Mark 42, like I said before, and it's really great. I love the leg printing there. That is so cool, with the feet printing as well. Of course, he also comes with the Power Blast pieces, which I'm sure you've seen how those work before. Spinning it around here on the back, you can see he's got such detailed back torso printing, which is just so cool. Like, look at the front, really awesome. The mask as well. Whether the helmet is such a cool printing. If I remove that, you can see we've got the regular Tony Stark face there, and then on the back we've got the heads up display. So nothing new there for the face, and unfortunately we do not have a hairpiece included for him either. Here's the Black Panther mech, and I think that they actually do a really good job of like representing his suit. It definitely feels like an extension of that. Not specifically the suit he's wearing, which you'll see in a second, but I think this looks really cool. I'm not a fan of the mechs that have these really tiny feet. I think that this one, it's not that bad. I just kind of wish it was, for stability wise, like it's got to be a lot harder to do stuff with when you've only got it on this 1x5 piece. Like, that's so difficult to sort of pose on. Like, the chances of me being able to find the spot, like, it takes so much longer. It's interesting, and again, this probably wouldn't be able to be done with the other one. I actually always found that, specifically with the Wolverine one, maybe because of claws, they would fall. Like, that's how loose it was. That's not going to happen here. I think that looking at this, though, again, the color scheme, even some of the part usages with, like, the teeth pieces, that looks so cool. It's almost like giving the scale effect that you've got on this printed piece at the top. I think that's really great. Now, the other little complaint that I have is I wish that that maybe had a sticker or something to do something with, like, that display, the heads-up display. The claws and everything, they're pretty cool. Like, they're very Black Panther, sort of like you could see, like, they're extended from his hand. I really like that. And the Nexonite shields, again, you've got those little tooth pieces here and here, even there in the waist. Like, there's just so much there that I think they really captured the Black Panther essence there. Not as complete, but it's pretty complete. I really like how far the mechs have come since 2020. Of course, you could open it up and you take your Black Panther figure and you could put him on inside and close it up. And I keep talking about hair pieces because he's got this and another head. And it's interesting, this face isn't the one from the CMF series. This is from the Queer Eye set. And you could see with like the beard, like it works for him for sure. But the beard is different as well as the facial expression. But it still looks pretty cool. He is using the hair piece, however, from the CMF series. I really love the torso printing. It's very similar to like the Civil War one, but also the comic book one from the indirect tie into the Avengers game. And then on the back there, really cool back printing as well. He does come with a Black Panther head as well, like the mask and the pointed ears there, which are really cool. And on the back, he's even got some back head printing, which almost looks like it goes down onto the rest of the suit, which looks really cool. Also, for the first time, he's coming with claws here, so I think that's also interesting to note. So here's the Spider-Man mech. This is technically our 4th one if you include Miles, so I'm just kind of over him, but this is actually based off of something very specific where Marvel's like doing all these different mechs. I don't know if it's a show or if it's just like it's a cross-market thing. There's Funkos, there's other toys, so it's really cool that they are basing it off of something versus Lego just coming up with their own concept, which is something I didn't realize when I was first actually reviewing it, when I was first actually seeing it when it was revealed. These are actually called monster mechs, and it's really cool. Like, I actually am impressed by the fact that they are based off of it. This does look like a monster, seeing it here in person. You definitely sort of get that sense with like the scales here on the arm. It just looks a lot more primal, where it's almost like, it gives me like almost like a gorilla vibe, where you can kind of just like put it down on all fours there. Like it's very, I don't know, it's very primal. Yeah, that's how I'm going to keep describing it, I think. Like the different teeth there on the bottom for the feet. You almost got like scales there on the bottom. And again, like look at that. It's very creepy. Also, love the little skate pieces for the hands. I think that's pretty cool. But I'm just tired of this, and I think that's my biggest problem, is it's another Spider-Man mech. And I think if the last year one didn't come with the same suit that we're getting in this one, I probably wouldn't have as much of a problem. Like if we got a Future Foundation one, a white mech would be so cool, but we didn't. So I didn't finish talking about this though. We've got the shoulder pads, which are just huge. Like this is a very large mech. You've got these little like tendrils here in the back that can move around, and then here on the back you've got it's not complete. See what I mean by not complete? This is very similar to the original designs for the mechs. But then over here on the front, you've got the cool printed piece there on the Nexonite shield. You can open it on up. No web shooters are included with him, and you can close it on up. Now this is a mech. I believe all the heroes are inside mechs versus Goblin, which you'll see after the figure, that isn't. Here's the Spider-Man figure. I really don't have much to say about this. We keep getting him. He doesn't even have the dual molded legs here. The arm printing, though, has been so nice. I really appreciate that. But it's just the exact same suit that we've gotten already for a while. It's not actually a while. It's not as long as other suits, but it feels that way. We're actually starting off with Goblin inside here because, like I was saying before, this isn't a mech. This is meant to be actually Goblin. That's like his chest there that is printed. You'll notice like on the Spider-Man one, if I were to remove that piece and show you, you could see like it's very mechanical where that is actually a mech. This, however, is an extension of Green Goblin. And that's why on the back, if you look at it from this angle, that is meant to be like his little hat there. And that's a continuation of that point. It's meant to exaggerate that. So I think that's a very cool concept that instead of getting a mech, this isn't technically for him to wear. This is a part of him, which I kind of wish then that they maybe covered up his legs a bit more. Like I think that would have been really cool if it was a little bit more enclosed, because he is this mech, which I think is a cool concept. Again, not a fan of the legs, the feet, sorry, but I think like the scales on the legs and everything, it is very monster-esque with these creepy fingers here in light green, as well as on the shoulders, he's got these pumpkin launchers, same thing as Iron Man. Unfortunately, however, there are no printed detail on the piece, and I think that if they did, they easily could be reusing that in a ton of different sets. I do like the shoulders, however. I think that looks really cool with just the shaping of all that and how they have the pumpkin launchers on top. But my favorite part here, and I'll talk about this towards the end, is it makes me just want DC mechs. I look at this and I see Lex Luthor colors. I see the Joker colors, and I just love this one specifically. It may not be my favorite overall build, but when you put them all next to each other from 2020 to 2022 here, it's so colorful. And it's also our only villain one from this year, and we haven't gotten Goblin before, so I really appreciate that. Again, incomplete here on the back. So, I don't know. It's hard to value this. I think that if this was a $10 set on its own, I think people still would have gotten it. But then that other Spider-Man one sort of makes up for the parts that are lacking here, because that one's just so much bigger and has so many more parts in this. And here's Green Goblin, and I know that a lot of people are excited because they're finally able to get this one from the Spider Lair and the Bugle, but for a collector like myself, it devalues those, as well as I just like these mechs are an opportunity to get new suits. And last year we didn't get that with the Doc Ock one either, but I still can dream, right? I love it though. It's a really great looking figure. I like just the tattered part there on the top of the torso printing, no leg printing. However, the face is very, very detailed. If I were to remove this there, you could see it a little bit better. And on the back, he does have this really angry expression, and I love how the back torso printing is just as detailed as front, and it carries over with that strap. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is all of the Marvel 2022 mechs so far. I can't see them doing more, just sort of following the pattern of what they did last year. I also just want to mention a couple of different things. These things have been such a pain. I'm glad they're finally coming out for everyone after all the delays and everything. Also, we were told that the Spider-Man and Goblin one was going to be Ant-Man. That's what a retail site actually had it listed under. So, yeah, I would have loved the Ant-Man one. Maybe in the future it would make more sense for like his movie. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of these mechs? Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? If you want to see some more comparisons, I'll put at the end here all the Hulkbusters as well as all the Batmobiles if you're a DC fan like myself. I really, looking at all these, it makes me realize I really want DC ones with Batman and Joker and Lex and Superman. And then also, I really want Star Wars ones, which is something that I've talked about. And it could kind of work like Green Goblin, where they're just a part of the mech. Like, it's just them. It's just a bigger version of them, which I think would be really cool. But anyways, be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out on future LEGO Marvel superhero set news and reviews. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.